E360 TV proudly presents Messages of Inspirational Stories TV show. Live streaming now to millions of devices around the world on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook live streaming. Our shows are available video on demand on these channels. And we broadcast daily, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on these channels. On Mondays, Expanding Your Business. Tuesdays, Finding Health Naturally. Wednesdays, Mentoring Our Youth. Thursdays, Pets We Love. And on Fridays, Women in Leadership. Brought to you by our producers and hosts, Jim Grant and donnaguinouard. Along with our host, Beata Severin Reed and Emersonbrantley. Supported by our admin team of Michaela Vidal and Gaia Guinois Balconi Weda. And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Messages of Inspirational Stories is proudly brought to you by the good guys at the 6minutewebinar.com. And in today's show, I've got Mr. Emersonbrantley joining us. He's the guru at web3direct.com. And we got some interesting things going on. Oh, yeah. We're going to be changing our Thursday show from Pets We Love to Ideals Worth Knowing. There's a lot coming there, coming down the track. And Emerson, you might just want to share a little bit with the folks out there in TV land what's coming down the pike a little bit. It's very exciting.
Well, one of the things that those of you who followed the show for a while might be happy to hear. Jim has basically partnered with a national publisher. That's right. Mm-hmm. And we'll be having authors and experts who'll be able to be coming in and speaking on that Thursday show. And I'll be helping out there too. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to just put a teaser here. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but also there's a national sponsor and a national publicity company that has shown a distinct interest in this show because of all the value that Jim and Donna and team have brought to you for 3 years now, Jim?
Well, yeah, we're in our third year. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to start getting some additional recognition and knowledge of people being aware of it. So share this show.
Yeah.
Because you already have a million and a half viewers a month.
I've had with my radio and all that. I don't know how many. Our radio show had over 6 million. But we worked at that a long. We worked at that a long time. But I mean,
so there's a tremendous following, and he's got the attention of some national nods on this.
Yeah,
and we're going to keep on bringing good quality and trying to deliver value that is going to enhance your life.
Yeah, but enough of us, and this is what's in it for you folks out there. If you've ever wanted to write a book.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The biggest hurdle that you have is sitting down and doing it. And it is a hassle. I've been there, I've done it. But in this program that we're bringing, you can actually be, just have an interview call.
As short as one of these shows.
Yeah, exactly. And from there, you can actually, you can just talk about, your knowledge, your expertise, the thing you want to talk about. And it's okay to be like hot popcorn on the stove because you'll bounce over here and you'll bounce over there. And the main thing is get all that information out because they can download that and they'll create a rough draft and they will organize it. And then you will take a look at it and say, okay, I like this. I don't like that. Let's move this here, whatever. But all you have to do from the creation of, or the starting point to the finish point, is just be interviewed and give the approval of the script, because it's all going to be done for you. And this avenue is going to put you as an Amazon bestseller. How about that?
It will be a bestseller. And this is from a publisher who has over 1,500 best-selling authors. It will be a bestseller. So if you have a small business, or if you just want to tell the story of the women in your family, or the men in your family, or the pioneers, or the people who founded your town, or the people who founded the cause that you're a part of, or the people whose lives have been changed by the charity that you're involved in. All of these things, all of these stories do nobody any good if they're bottled up inside.
That's exactly.
This is a publisher who has said, you know what? Big publishing is missing this mark, and I want to be able to get these stories out there.
Yeah. I was just thinking about something that I heard Les Brown say. You probably have heard Les Brown say this too, because you've heard him speak more than I have, to be honest with you. Yeah. And Les said, I remember I was in Orlando and I was standing over there on the side, and he said, where is the richest place on earth? I got to thinking, and I thought, well, I know it ain't where I grew up, and but what he said is the graveyard, because there's all the books buried that were never written. There's where you'll find all of the dreams that were never fulfilled.
Right.
And he went on in that. And that is so true, because, I know people that one person in particular comes into mind. This individual was about 40 years of age and went through a traumatic experience, and he made some changes in his life. I told him, that is a heck of a good book. That's a story, because, it's something that others out there, will be able to connect with and find interesting. And because truth is always stranger than fiction can ever be. It really is. But in today's show, we want to reach out to some small business owners. If you are a small business owner, or if you know of someone that's a small business owner, this TV show is your TV show. We want to hear from you. I tell you exactly, real quickly, just if you'd like to be a guest, or you know someone that would like to be a guest on our show, email us at inspiration@e360tv. That comes into the TV station. Our team gets it. We'll make sure we get it to they make sure we get it to the right person, and we will interview you. And when we interview people on TV, it's just like me and Emerson going to sit here. We're just going to visit. We're just going to share some information that we know. Because small business owners, they are the backbone of the economy. And I really liked what they said here about, I saw in Washington that 44% of the U.S. activity is a direct result of small independent businesses. And that was a report that they published just a couple of years ago. And Emerson, you've got a great experience working with one small company that felt like they were swamped, they were buried. There was no way out. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this story. Emerson, please share it with us.
Well, before I do, I want to say this, and I don't know when people will be watching this, and this will not always be the case, I know, but reach out to that address below, which I'm just going to say, Jim, right now, Jim isn't even going to be charging you to have you on this show.
Yeah, so don't say you can't afford it.
A year or two from now, I don't know if that'll be the case.
Yeah.
I don't know. But right now, don't let any kind of doubt or anything else hold you back, especially if you own a small business or you have a
Oh, yeah.
family story that you want to have told, or a story about your town that you want to be
Yeah.
able to have told.
Mm.
Reach out to that address that's down below.
Yeah.
And you might just be surprised. You may be the next guest on the show.
Yeah. Come on down. You're the next contestant.
Come on
right?
down. Yeah. Okay. Jim's teased me on this a little bit, but I want to share because kind of the focus of this show. He and I were talking about this show and who would be on it and things like that today. And I said, why don't we do a show that just really highlights small business USA, Main Street USA. Any of you who know a small business owner, or maybe you are a small business owner, or maybe you work in a small business, or you live in a town that has a Main Street kind of a setup.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of changes over the last 20 years or so. You got big box stores. I'm going to tell you a story about that in just a minute. You got big box stores. You got all of the online sales taking place, online shipping. Maybe you have a restaurant. Now you got delivery services that are picking it up from anybody and everybody. You know what? I'm going to share something with you. And this is part and parcel with the story that I'm going to tell you in just a minute. But hear this and write this down, even if you don't believe it. None of those things can compete with you. I'm going to say that again. None of those things can compete with you. So if you're a local business and you're feeling the pinch and the crunch, and you're running ads and you're doing this and you're doing that, and you're having sales and which only cuts your margin, and all of these things, trying to navigate what sometimes is a confusing new normal, let me just tell you, you have the advantage. Jim's going to give some stats here on this show. We've heard stats before, but the reality is small business is the backbone of America. It is the backbone of America. There ain't a small business in America, Jim, that's going to lay off 50,000 people, is there?
No, sir, there isn't.
No,
They really aren't.
No. So, there's a safety net in our small businesses that when things are happening and times are changing, and we're seeing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing economies change. We're seeing the way that people are distributing things and buying things.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing all of these different factors. And AI, artificial intelligence, which we've talked about. All of these things are happening. But you have a relationship with the people who buy from you.
Yes.
And I want to share one story.
Yeah, please. That's where I want you to go. Yeah.
Yep. So it was just a few years ago. It wasn't that long ago. I was called by a friend of mine who's a consultant, business consultant, to help a business that he was just struggling with. And it was a young couple, a couple of young kids, and they had bought a hardware store in a 4,000 population town. Now, this store looked like a good deal. This store had been there 80 years, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been there 80 years. There was one other store in the town, hardware store. Now, they were in a triangle. I want you to picture this. They were in a triangle of 3 towns all about the same size.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of those towns had a couple of hardware stores. Well, one day, about a year or two after they bought this, invested everything they had into this store, one of the big box hardware stores decided to build right between those 3 towns.
Mm.
One of those towns wasn't enough. They needed to have enough to draw from, so they built right in the middle of these 3 towns. Now, Jim, I know you can guess, and most of our viewers can probably guess what happened over the next year or two, one by one.
Closures.
Each one of those towns, their hardware stores closed down. And here's why. they kept trying to do business the way they'd always done it, but they were, in their mind, they were competing. We've talked about this before, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
You have no competition. Competition only exists in two places. It can exist in the mind of your market and in your mind, but if it doesn't exist here, it won't exist there.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Now that's magic, but it's
Mm-hmm.
true. So I met with these people. I agreed to meet with them. I was doing it for a friend, and I met with them. And on my very, very, very first call with them, I said, I'm not going to say the name of the store, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I said, listen, they can't compete with you. They said, you don't understand. They can buy things in bulk. We can't.
Mm-hmm.
They got 100 people. We only have a handful, and half of them have been here for 25 years or so. We don't have the inventory that they have, the choices that they have. I said, yeah, but you got something that they'll never have. You live here. You're local here. You've been here. Their
Mm-hmm.
daddy bought from you. Their granddaddy bought from you. And you have something that the big store can never have. You've got a relationship.
There you go.
And relationship's the core.
Mm-hmm.
In anything that we do, it's the core. And I want to encourage you, if you've got a small business, or know somebody who does, or work in a small business, you have an advantage. There are people who will choose to do work with you. And after we put in a few changes for this business, people were driving from those other two towns past the big box store to buy from this store because it was the only hometown store still left.
Mm.
Now that's powerful if you think about it. And what were some of the things I told them to do, Jim?
Well, one of the things that came to my mind is what most people think to do is that if you come to our store and you put a can of beans or something into this barrel, we'll give you 10% off or something. And that's about as hokey as you can get. Well,
this gets hokier. So they had a cooler at the front of the store, and people could bring in eggs because they had laying hens around them. They could bring in eggs, and they gave them a percentage of the sale of the eggs. They gave them commission on the. I said, give it to them.
Yeah.
Just give it to them. All their kids and grandkids will come in to buy Granny's eggs. I said, by the way, let different people have a space out front on different days of the week to bring in, Mama's tomatoes and and whatever. I said,
and Aunt B's fried pies or whatever.
Yeah. This isn't your profit center. Mm-hmm. Your profit center is the fact that the people have the relationship with you.
Yeah.
That's your profit center.
Yeah, because if you go to a big box store and you set
You'll
up
never
a table,
see that.
Yeah, you go out there and you try to set up a table and you want to sell some woodcraft items or maybe some homemade pies that you made at home. The manager come out, hey, you got to get out of here. They'll run you off because they got no relationship with you.
I said, put up a coffee machine, let the people come and sit, put a picnic table out front. Get rid of all this junk that you got out front trying to sell to people. How many of you have been to a hardware store and you have to walk past mounds of lawn chairs and fountains and grills and LP gas and everything else? I said, get rid of all that. Yeah. They know that you carry it.
Yeah.
I said, by the way, this sign out front, stop putting all your sales up there. They don't need to see that. Put the birthdays. Anybody who's 90 years old, make sure their birthday is up there.
Yeah.
And if you don't have enough of those, go with the ones that are 80 and old.
Oh yeah.
I said, make it where everybody comes to your place.
Yeah.
And we came up with you were in the military. You know what a chit is. Where you have like a little. It's not really money. It's like Monopoly money.
Yeah.
You know, I said, get with a few of the other local merchants. Come up with a chit system. So if they bring this dollar chit over to you based on the $20 that they just spent there, that they'll be able to use that in their restaurant or in their store, and start keeping the money in town.
Yeah.
Make it into a campaign. You
Yeah.
represent the town. You're the heart of the town. And Jim, they did it. They did it. And they still are the only one of all of those hardware stores that had been there 50, 60, 70, 80 years or more. They still are the only store that's still in business, still there.
And all they are is they're just a hometown center.
That's it.
That's
They're
it.
the heartbeat of that community.
Yeah.
And there's no business, no local business that you can't make your business something more than just the dress shop or the diner or the hardware store or the furniture store.
Yeah. That's what I love about it, because you can actually mold it to be a true reflection of your personality and the love you have for your community.
Oh yeah.
Because you look at any big chain, whether it's a Dunkin' Donuts, whether it's a McDonald's, whether it's a Home Depot, you look, they all look the same. And that's the way that they operate. They want consistency and congruency with everything that they do, but
and I'm not going to disparage any of them.
No.
I can't. The number of times I've flown into a town and I had to set up for a trade show for a client, and I could go to one of those big box stores. I could go there, and I knew that I could get every single thing that I needed really quickly, and I could be there for the client. I'm not disparaging that.
No, we're not. We're not knocking. What we're saying
talking about is
what we're saying
about is small businesses. Small businesses have an advantage, and if we start thinking in terms of the advantage, the advantages, instead of all of the things that are happening to us that are beyond our control, we'll find. Here, I'll show you this to you.
Yeah.
This is a proclamation, a mayoral proclamation, okay?
Oh, okay.
I've done this many times. I've done it many times. Almost every town has a day of the month or some type of setup where you go down and you say, I'd like to have a proclamation for X, Y, and Z. And they'll make the proclamation. They take a picture of you with the mayor or with the city manager or whoever, depending on the town. And then you take it down in the paper, or you post it. You post it online. There's a proclamation. Okay, that's easier to do.
Yeah,
on a local small basis.
Oh yeah.
Than if you're in a town. I'm not going to say it's not impossible. I've done it in towns of 1 million people or more, but you go to a large city, it's a little bit different. It's possible.
Yeah.
And I would pursue it.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But in a small town, it's easy.
Yeah. And when you're in charge of your own business, you can do whatever you like. Because I was going to, use a big box retailer as an example. The manager who manages that store has to follow specific guidelines. Now, let's say the regional manager or the district manager comes in to visit a store, and he don't see the typical stuff displayed out front like what Emerson described a little bit earlier. And he sees picnic tables out there and people visiting and drinking coffee. The problem with that and what's going to go through their mind is that, hey, we basically sell shelf space. We're not out here coffee clutching by the inch. So when you understand that, then you can make a game plan to be able to compete against that, because the manager's hands, even though he would think that might be a great idea to bring the community in and do different things, but their hands are tied because of the regulations. And like any other big box or any other corporation, there's regulation and strangulation.
Yeah.
And
You'll love this,
they
Jim.
strangle. Go ahead.
You'll love this. One of the things I said was offer free delivery for anybody within 20 miles. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. You don't have any idea how expensive it is to run our delivery truck and driver and this and everything. Blah, 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 blah. I said, try it. You will have people who will buy from you to save the $20 that you're getting, for the delivery, because they can never get that from that big box store. That big box store is lockstep.
Yeah.
If you're a contractor, maybe there's some kind of deal if you have a truckload or, but
not the average person.
No. And sure enough, there are people who they came in because they got free delivery, even though, and this is important. One of the things I told them was you need to increase your prices by at least 10% across the board. And we can't keep up now. We're already more expensive. It's like, no. Your margins have to be right for your business to survive.
Yeah.
And you know what? People will happily pay that 10% difference. They're not going to sit there with a calculator figuring out that they could have saved 60 cents on something if they'd gone over to the other store. And just think in terms of the values that you have, of the things that you bring. And well, here's one. Okay, here's one from the other side of it. So some of the people who are in that store who are working there have been there 25 years. They've been there longer than this young couple had owned it, So now, Jim, let me ask you, do you think Joe in plumbing is going to try to pitch you on something to buy something? No, he's going to say, Jim, man, haven't seen you in the hound's age, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're looking like I am now these days, boy. I said, listen, you need anything, you let me know, okay?
Yeah. When was the last time you've been fishing?
Yeah, been fishing. How's your dad doing?
Yeah. How's your mom? Yeah.
And so I knew they weren't going to be trying to sell people. They weren't salespeople. They were people that these people had grown up knowing, who were just there to help. So I created 3x5 cards, and the 3x5 cards on one side said, look, nobody wants to have to make 2 or 3 trips for one job. So if you need anything, be sure you ask, and here's a checklist to help you make sure you don't forget something on this one, so you only have to make one trip. And on the back was a checklist of everything in the department, If it was plumbing, it was maybe, elbow joints and T-joints and did you get the glue you needed? And, all of the stuff. It's just a list of 15 or 20 items. Between that, Jim, and it made it easy. All Joe in plumbing had to do was pull it out of his pocket and say, look, Jim, hey, I've known you your whole life, boy. If you don't want to have to
if
make
you like me
for the same thing. Here's the checklist. Might give you some. Just make sure you don't forget something. If you need me, I'll be over on aisle 7.
Yeah.
And you know what? We were able to increase their baseline pricing, actually by almost 20%. We set it for 10, but it ended up being almost 20. And we were able to increase their volume of sales per customer visit. The volume. The number of items. So those are 2 key metrics for a small business.
Yeah.
If they come in and buy a pack of gum, it doesn't keep your business alive.
No.
So this is just real world stuff. But the thing is, the people that they had the relationship with appreciated it the way that we approached it. And it became a gathering place for people. People would come and sit at those picnic tables and have a cup of coffee and visit. When when Granny Jane had her 90th birthday, her name was up on the marquee instead of, you know, the special on fertilizer this week.
Yeah.
And people came and got their pictures taken with the marquees.
Yeah.
And when they brought in their tomatoes, you know, Annie Alice was able to make herself a little extra money selling her tomatoes out there. And guess what? About a third of the people who came in were her grandkids to buy their granny's tomatoes. And you know, and did they go in the store? Yeah, some of them went in the store. And even if they didn't buy them, they went in and thanked them for letting that happen. And it started becoming a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah. A gathering place.
A gathering place. Not just a business, you know, looking for your credit card and trying to upsell you on something, or handing you their circular with 14 pages of everything that they've got for sale.
Yeah. I know that our bank on Fridays, one of the things that they do, they got an old popcorn machine, old style. Oh, and they pop popcorn. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I got to say one thing about McDonald's. They knew who their target market was when they started out with Ronald McDonald. And, you know, they were telling the kids, you get mom and dad to bring you to McDonald's. We got toys here. We've got a nice recreation area for you kids. It's safe. Oh, man. So, you know,
anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. And I'm just going to say this as an encouragement for local businesses. And really, that's what our show's really today is about. Is about highlighting local Main Street business. Okay, look, some of the most difficult marketing that you can do is local marketing. I know I've marketed in over 30 countries, and I marketed all across the United States. I've done it local, I've done national, I've done regional. Local marketing is, you have a very small, what we call in marketing, we call a universe. You have a very small universe of people to market to. On a national level, I can split things up and have thousands and thousands of people that I'm sending things to. It's not that easy on a local level. So local marketing, advertising, things like that, it can be more challenging. Plus, it's costing you money every time you do it.
Sure.
Here's the kick. Y'all remember this proclamation that I showed you? Okay, this, right? This mayoral decree. Well, what good is that? Okay, so you got one, you put it up on the wall, yay, you feel good. No. Think in terms of the publicity and promotion and the public relations and everything else that you can do. And folks, I got to tell you, on a local level, PR is the easiest to get that extra publicity. Now, on a national level, it's the opposite. On a national level, it's a lot easier for me to go buy a list or do some national promotion or ad, but trying to get on big talk shows and radio shows with PR on a national basis, that takes me months to build up to for a client, because they've got to see that it's been done on a lower level and higher level, and maybe we should call this person. That's not the case in local marketing. Your local advertising dollars are often more difficult to get the results you want.
Absolutely.
But local publicity and PR, when it's done right, will blow the doors off. In fact, I'll just say this. If you have a really good campaign, be careful and make sure that you're able to have someone to answer that phone and handle the people who come in, because it can be absolutely I've seen it. I've seen it. I've had this happen. Absolutely overwhelming, because the people didn't prepare for that. They'd never seen it. They didn't understand it. And all of a sudden you got 50 people and they're trying to buy at the same time. So be prepared for that.
Yeah. I want to share a story that came to mind. There's a lady, she's passed away now. She lived a ripe old age, a little over 100. And she was in Tucson. She was known as the first lady of fashion in Tucson, Arizona. And she had celebrities coming to her shop to buy from her. And her philosophy was, now let me think for a second, make sure I get this right. She says, when I open up my store, she was so ladies' dresses and all, she said, a boutique. And her name was Celeste Peterson, excuse me. She went by Celeste Peterson. And you can look her up in Tucson, Arizona, and because they interviewed her. And she says, when I open up my store, my very first store, she said, I'm not going to sell people what they need. I'm going to sell them what they want. Think about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody needs this and everybody needs that. But she had, one of her clients was Lady Astor. And Elizabeth Taylor was another.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they would come to her and she would sit down and she would just, first thing she'd do is, sit down and they'd have tea or coffee or in a very relaxed setting. And, have a few of them girls come out and model some dresses and stuff and talk about them. And on her first buying trip, now she grew up in Bisbee, Arizona. And her first buying trip, she went to New York. And she was up there, and this young man, now this is back in the 40s, I guess. Yeah, it was back in the day. I don't remember the exact day, but it was back a while. And the salesman there was saying, "Oh, you're from Arizona." And he said, you ever carry a gun? And she says, yes, I got it right here in my purse. Because she grew up around guns because there was rattlesnakes out there and she target practice, but she knew how to handle a gun safety. And she had it with her for her safety. And the guy got, oh my gosh, she's got a gun in here. And excuse me. She joked with him. She says, you are going to give me a good deal today, right? But yeah, she was a tremendous lady. But but don't ever forget that. Whatever it is that you're in business to do, don't try to give people what they want. I mean, what they need. Give them what they want. Because you look at an airplane, for example. They're going to, Southwest, I'll pick. They don't talk about, their fleet. They don't talk about how they're maintaining it. They don't talk about, how friendly their staff is. They show people flying to a dream type destination.
Relax and having fun.
Yeah. Make them dream. Because that's what people want. People want to go to a better place.
And Jim, a local business can do that better in every case.
Oh yeah.
And when you look at it from the perspective of building those, we've talked about this before, those long-term mutually beneficial relationships of value and trust. When you're building those relationships, it's not about the sale you got right in front of you right now.
Yeah.
It's about that relationship. It's about doing what's right. It's about, if you don't have what they need, suggesting where they can go to get what they need, and being willing to be that trusted advisor, not just somebody waiting to say, do you want to do this as cash or credit?
Yeah.
But being that person that they feel a relationship with,
Yeah.
they feel you're in it,
Appreciated.
appreciated, that you're
Yeah.
in it, that you have their best interest in mind.
Yeah. I mean, you go to some of these big box companies or these big outlets, and you're looking, and they got 12 cash registers and only one or two open. And there's, people backed up, standing in line, and everything else. I mean, it's very, it's just so unprofessional. That's where the disconnect that Emerson and I have been talking about, mainly Emerson,
Oh
because the
yeah,
relationship is not there.
yeah, yeah. In a small business, small store, the owner will come running out and get behind the register if they need
Oh
to.
yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
they'll call somebody from the back office to come out and do it if they need to.
Sure. Oh yeah.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
and are at the very least, if they're shorthanded, he'll come out and just say, "Folks, I'm really sorry, we're just
Yeah.
shorthanded. Betty wasn't able to come in today because her daughter's sick, and so
Mm-hmm.
just bear
Yeah.
with us. We're trying to get everybody done as fast as we can." And you know what?
Yeah.
We've said this before on this show. You don't want everybody as a
Can't
customer.
handle it.
You want the people who listen to you, who trust you, who care, who love you, who forgive you when you screw up, and we all screw up, who send you endless referrals, and who buy from you again and again. And the
Oh
screwing
yeah.
up part is important because
Mm-hmm.
when all we're thinking about is how many more people we can get in the door and how many more sales we can make, how many more credit cards
Yeah.
we can process.
Yeah.
If that's the measuring stick,
Mm.
when that person needs something and you sell them something that's not what it is that they want, that's a disconnect. And when you say to somebody, honestly, you can buy this, and this is a decent company, but honestly, if I were you, I would suggest you go over to such and such because they've got this or that or the other. And I really, from what you described to me, I think that would serve you better. We don't
Yeah.
carry it, they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to be satisfied.
Oh yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. That's a hard thing for a lot of businesses who are making payroll and doing all that. I get that. That's a hard thing to grasp. But the trust factor that you just
Oh
built
yeah.
is there was a great old movie, The Miracle on 34th Street. If any
Oh
of you
yeah.
have never seen it,
Yeah.
you
You got to see
stream
it.
go stream it or rent it. But there's a scene in there where Santa Claus, because it's about Santa Claus, where Santa Claus is in this department store and this lady comes up and she wants to buy something for the kid. And he goes, "We don't carry that, but if you go over to such and such store over on such and such a street, they've got it. By the way, they've got a good sale on it right now. Here's the address." And she looks at him and goes, "I don't get this. What is this? Is this a gimmick? You're sending me to another store." And she goes and tells the manager, and the manager just gets livid. And she goes, "I'm going to do all my business with your store from now on because I can't believe y'all did this. This is a great thing that you're doing."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The manager is all worried about it. The customer is like, "Oh my gosh, you're actually going to help me get what I want, even though it's from somebody else." That value, that trust factor is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It really is. And I want to share something too with, because we've all seen this or experienced it to some degree. Back in the early 70s, there was an older gentleman. He was getting ready to sell his business, and we were actually looking at it. We didn't buy it, but he was really a nice guy, down to earth and all that. And he said, whenever a customer comes in with a complaint, most people want to hush them up. They want to stop them from complaining. They don't want the customer to complain. Let the customer say what they want to say. And as they're explaining why they brought that item back, you will know whether or not it's a legit claim. He says 95 to 98% is a legit claim. And after they, get it all out, this is why I'm here, this is what happened, da 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 da. Then look at them and just say, I understand. Thank you for bringing it in. What would you like for me to do about it right now? He said it takes all of the fire out of it. And he says over 75% of the time, they're willing to take less than what you've already decided that they're entitled to.
Yeah.
And he says, that's where you shine. He says, that's when you come back and say, yeah, I can do that. But to be honest with you, I'd rather do it this way and give them a little bit more. Either give them a 20% discount when they come back next time, or give them a little more money on the refund, whatever. But always when they leave that store, he said, especially for guys, okay, guys, it's time for us to get in the pickle barrel here. That way, if a guy goes back and he got more than he wanted, he gets a chance to go home to brag to his wife. I took that back and I told him what I thought, and I only got that, but I got this here too. Make him a winner.
Yep.
He'll love you for it. And that's true.
I do a lot of my shopping at a grocery store that has a big, they do a big deal over, if you're not happy, you bring it back and we'll exchange it and give you the money back that you paid for it.
Yeah.
I make a point when I go in of just saying, look, I just want to swap it out. I don't want any money back.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, in the reverse of what you were just describing, I am so happy with the fact that that's the position that they take. I don't want to take advantage of that. Will some people? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you know what? There are a lot more people like me. If you get something you're not happy with,
take
it back. They swap it out. No questions asked. That's, that's fair.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. And the thing is, that's a customer loyalty. That's a relationship. That's a sense of they're looking out for my best interest and want to make sure that I'm happy and that I'm satisfied to the extent that they're willing to lose money to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm willing to just make that exchange and be okay with it.
There you go. Emerson, we forgot to do one more bit of business here. I had the marquee up there, and I was wanting to get it in there, but we're going to get it in there right now. If you'd be kind enough to share with them about the complimentary book library card.
Oh, yes. We're going to be starting here on Thursdays to have, there will be ideas worth knowing. And we have a national publisher who has hundreds and hundreds of best-selling authors in all different types of genres, especially in business, small business. And when you go to ideasworthknowing.com, you can get a library card. That's what he's calling it. Okay. A library card, and you'll get up to 10 books that you can stream down, whichever ones you choose. You can stream them or download them and enjoy them and grow from them, share them, whatever you want to do. But he has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of best-selling authors. I mean, I've done, I don't know, 5 or 6 things with it myself, but you can find something that's of interest to you. And he is the sponsor of our new Thursday show, which will be Ideas Worth Knowing on Thursdays, where we will have interesting people with interesting points of view and knowledge bases and all sorts of different things that will shake up our schedule a little bit here on the week.
Oh, yeah. And also, too, when you go there and get the library card, that's just what we call it here. It's free. There's no strings attached, is there?
Yep.
No strings attached.
And by the way, By the way, you might want to save one of those 10 free books because somebody that I know on this show is going to be having a book here before too long that will be a bestseller, and you may want to just have a copy of of their book, and I won't tell you who it is, but their initials are JG, and it will be a bestseller. It will be a bestseller, and you can get a copy of it without going to Amazon and paying $25 for it.
Oh yeah,
30 or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is, and it's also a great opportunity for you to get your feet wet and understand what's going on there, because you might say, "Hey, I could sit down and tell somebody my story."
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's all you got to do. Just be interviewed and game over. And
it often is game over at that point.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Because all of the pieces to put it all together for you, the foundation's already been laid. All you got to do is just come in and just be interviewed and sit back and watch everything come together. And let me ask you something.
Well, let me expand on that too.
Okay.
Those of you, especially if you have a small business, okay, interviews, being on a show like this that has, I don't know, 1.5 million, 2 million people a month that are viewing it, being on a show like this, every single time that you do it, you're getting your story out to more and more people. And when you are talking with say a regional or national network or radio host or somebody that, you know, that they want to see what you've done.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You send this to them and now they can see you, how you perform, your story, and everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you're not happy with it, you can sit. Jim will probably put you on another show and let you have another chance to be happy with it. But the thing is,
yeah, we will.
This is an easy way for you to take your business and your knowledge and get those talking points down and show how you're able to deliver that information. And that's the stepping stone. And I'll say this, it took me a number of months with a totally unknown 23-year-old, okay, to take this person from being basically totally unknown to being on every national talk show in the country.
Yeah.
I'm talking everything on Fox, on MSNBC, on ABC, CBS, all of them wanted to have this person. And it took being able to have shows just like this.
Yeah.
That were stepping stones to.
It's a springboard.
Bigger. It's a springboard to bigger and bigger shows. So take advantage of it.
Oh, yeah.
And you will benefit.
Yeah. And on my radio show, I surpassed 6 million downloads. Of course, now I've worked at the radio show for many, many years and went back to the same station. Yeah. I mean, from 2004 to 2014, it was, I think it was, we ran the show there, me and my friend, and we were getting 2 million downloads a month. And we both got tired. We were doing it 5 days a week, you know. But anyway, I started my radio show.
You get about that million, about that many a month.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hadn't really kept track of it really, but the way it happened, and this is what Emerson is talking about. When you get on Amazon and Google Play and all these big names, I didn't even know what a bot was in those days. These little bots come in there and they say, this show, it's over there on Amazon, it's over there on Google Play, it's on Spotify. It's got to be good. We're going to pull it to our platform, you know? And that happened over and over and over. And the last time I checked, I don't know how many platforms my show is on, but my point being, it was the springboard. And that's what Emerson's talking about, because let's face it, we're copycats. People are copycats. They see you over there on that show. Hey, I want that person on my show.
That's exactly what happens.
That's exactly what's going to happen. It really
People
will
don't
be.
like to be the first ones,
Mm-mm.
but they
No.
love it when they discover you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And when they discover you and they see what you've done on one show,
Yeah.
and I have to tell you, and I know this, and Jim and I haven't even talked about this one, but I know this. I know it because I know what I know because I know that I know it.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who follow this show,
Mm-hmm.
who are looking for that next person for theirs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
that is how the
And-
system works.
And as hosts, we're more than happy to refer someone to another
Oh,
host,
yeah.
and because it's a win-win situation. And Emerson, we're just getting close to running out of time. Got a
Yeah,
couple
you
minutes
sure
left, and I tell you, it's really amazing. This show here, it was a very easy show for Emerson and I to do, simply because we came from the heart. And that's all you have to do when you sit down to be interviewed for your book, is just come
talk.
from the heart. That's it. And thank God, because I've started three books, and I get tired of come on, I got to cut, paste this, got to move that there. That hassle is gone. I mean, that's like the bag of garbage you threw away last week. You don't know where it is. You don't even want to see it again either. You don't care where it is.
No, you
And-
talk. You can talk your book.
Oh, yeah.
You
Because
can talk
like
your
us,
book.
even me,
Yeah.
there was things that, oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Just put it all in there. And they have a very excellent system in being able to translate that down into the written word and into a Word document, and being able to clean it up and have it flow in a very smooth, continuous way, the way a book should be.
Oh, yeah.
And that's above my pay grade, to be honest with you. You know,
Well, for
But I'm
everybody
glad.
watching, though, even if you're not wanting to book yourself, go to ideasworthknowing.com and get that library card.
yeah,
And you can
yeah.
you can get some books for yourself to read.
Oh, yeah,
But if you have a
absolutely.
business, or if you have a story in your family that you want to get told,
Hmm.
you know what? It can be done now faster,
Hmm.
less cost than ever, and it can be done
Mhm.
in a way that will make it into a bestseller.
And we're definitely out of time, but be
Yeah, we
sure
are.
and share that link with others.
Ideas
Just
worth knowing.
ideasworthknowing.com, because you can get your 10 books and say, hey, you want some free 10 books, go to this link, because
There you
it's
go.
right there on the homepage. You can't miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, our time is gone. Emerson, thank you so much for being with us today and the great information. These are the kind of shows we love putting on. So please go to ideasworthknowing.com, get your free complimentary 10 books there you can read, and share it with others. And we'll be back tomorrow. We hope you have a wonderful day.
Yeah,
We'll see you tomorrow.
That's like $250 in buying book value off of
Absolutely.
Amazon or somewhere. Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.